What's up, y'all? And as always, welcome back to CountryCast. The Voice and American Idol have been around for quite some time, and millions of viewers continue to tune in, waiting to see who will be the next big star. Well, now, that does not always mean that the winner of these shows will in fact be the next biggest star, because throughout the years we have witnessed time and time again that these shows are missing the mark on many artists that are flourishing today. And it's not to say that these competitions don't have their place. The exposure for the non-winners that we have seen is just as good, as they really only needed a platform to get that major push to the next level. But let's not forget that not all contestants even make it to the stage and the full production of the show, where The Voice and American Idol just straight up drop the ball. So today we are going to take a look at those artists who American Idol and The Voice missed out on and are now making big waves in the business. And when y'all see some of these names that are on this list, it is just absolutely mind-blowing. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone for their support, and to the ones who continue to tune in but are not yet subscribed. If you could please do us a favor and subscribe, as it helps us out so much. Again, thank you to everyone for their support. Let's jump right into it. We got to kick this thing off with one of the biggest gaffes and missed opportunities by The Voice. A guy you all may know. His name is Luke Combs. Like I said earlier, these are just insane. Luke Combs once auditioned for The Voice early on in his musical journey and was straight up rejected. Luke Combs shared the story during his interview on the Full Send podcast, where he said, "I remember getting there and I didn't understand how much of a whole thing it was gonna be. There was thousands of people at this thing. I thought it would be like you go in, there's 100 people there that kind of are serious about what's going on. It was a clown show. There was thousands of people there." He went on to explain that his audition was during the time of the competition that was even before he made it to the television round. Combs then added, "I'm by myself at this thing, and I'm like, what am I doing at this thing, man? This is just outrageous. What are the odds of me even making it to the table of this deal? We wait hours and hours and hours. We wait, and then they finally call my row. It's 10 people at a time. So we go up the escalator and it's just another waiting room. And I'm like, oh my God, this never ends, dude. And we go in front of this guy. Finally, there is 10 of us. They take 10 people at a time. There's 10 rooms with producers in each one for the show. And essentially you go in and stand in like a photo lineup almost. And they go sing, sing, sing one at a time. So then this guy says, "Okay, everybody, thanks for coming." And I'm like, dude, I totally wasted my whole day being at this thing. And then right when we are about to leave, he's like, "Oh, you can stay." So I had to stay. They made me stay in Atlanta, and I'm missing one day of class now because I'm like, this will be a one-day deal. So I go into the next. There's another audition now. And I sing. I tell them, I want to do a country song. And they're like, "Oh, well, you didn't sing country before." And I'm like, well, so I have to sing one kind of music? I thought the show was just about being a singer. It's showing there's always gotta be some sort of angle. So essentially, I got a letter back after the next audition, which I made it through. And then they told me essentially I was too boring to be on television. I didn't even make it to the auditions. I didn't even make it onto the show. Wow. All I can say is wow. And now Luke Combs is one of the biggest stars in country music, breaking records left and right. Oh, and did I mention that he has also won Entertainer of the Year? Artist development, I believe, is a part of the show, so not too sure on how they didn't see his talent shining through. But on to our next artist on the list. We'll switch gears here and touch on American Idol for this one. Kane Brown. If you can believe it, Kane Brown tried his hand at American Idol after he watched his friend and former classmate Lauren Elena gain much success from the show. However, Kane did not have the same luck, and interestingly enough, Scotty McCreery influenced the judges to cut him from the show. Apparently, Kane and Scotty are similar, and here it is. According to an interview with Billboard during his career, Kane said that American Idol did not let him continue after auditioning, as he claimed that they said they didn't need another Scotty McCreery. Now, moving on to some newer stars in country that are blowing up and doing exceptionally well. Let's start with RayLynn. RayLynn had a bit of better luck than our previous two, but still did not win during her run on The Voice. RayLynn appeared on The Voice in Season 2 back in 2012 and was eliminated during the quarterfinals. She was on Blake's team. Now, even though she had some success on the show, her time was still cut short and put her back to grinding it out years later. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight, RayLynn spoke about losing the show and said, "I went straight back to Nashville, started writing Monday through Friday, then got my butt in a van. I went to every country radio station in the US, got ready in gas stations, lived off Starbucks and Chick-fil-A. That's how it was. You have to do that groundwork." RayLynn is coming in strong this year as she has cracked into the Billboard charts, as well as having over 1 million listeners a month on Spotify alone. And she also had the opportunity recently to go out on tour and open for Jason Aldean. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes the show does have its place, and for RayLynn, it did personally as it motivated her more, as well as gave her that platform that she may have needed to excel her career like she is doing right now. RayLynn has released 2 albums since her time on The Voice, Wild Horse and Baytown, with a slew of singles. Her single God Made Girls has also certified as platinum. Go check out RayLynn if you have not had the opportunity already. Next, we look at Chris Lane. Now, Chris's American Idol rejection may have come at his own hand. Lane auditioned for American Idol back in its 7th season in 2007 with his brother Corey. They went in as a duo. And well, the two did make it to the TV auditions, but man, it was an interesting audition approach to say the least. Chris Lane and his brother entered the audition room in front of the judges at the time, Simon Cowell, Paula Abdul, and Randy Jackson, and decided to beatbox and freestyle rap, dedicating their performance to 2 other female contestants that were on the show. But their audition was amateurish, as Simon Cowell noted during their segment. Here is a snippet of that performance. Take a look.
Sit back, please relax. This is not. Don't.
So y'all get the point. Anyways, Chris Lane did return back to American Idol for its 8th season, this time, however, solo, and again made it back to the audition round, but again was cut. Lane spoke to Pop Culture in an interview about his experience and said, "I never sang in front of anybody before, and I thought it'd be a cool opportunity just to go try. I was about to graduate college, and I just went for it. Made it through a bunch of the rounds. Nobody knows this, but I went back the year after. Tried out by myself and made it through all the rounds again, and didn't make it to Hollywood again. I had a lot of learning to do. I never sang in front of anybody, so it was kind of one of those things. I'm glad it didn't work out because I had a lot of time to grow when I started as a cover band there in North Carolina. Ultimately, I think it worked out the best way that it could because I wouldn't be where I am right now had I not been able to work all that out myself by playing live. That's ultimately what helped me the most." Despite his first audition being what it was and his second try at it falling through, Chris Lane is making a name for himself in country music now. With over 3 million listeners a month on Spotify alone, 3 #1 singles with Fix, I Don't Know About You, and Big Big Plans. He was featured on Hardy's Hixtape Volume 2, and of course has dropped 2 albums, Girl Problems and Laps Around the Sun, which has been certified as gold. And now to Jimmy Allen. Jimmy Allen auditioned on American Idol back in its 10th season during their televised audition rounds and was eliminated just before the live performance rounds and making the top 40 contestants. Jimmy performed on the same season as Lauren Elena and winner Scotty McCreery, so no question that the talent pool was definitely there in that year. Jimmy has become a household name in country music ever since, taking home New Artist of the Year in 2021 at the ACM Awards and New Artist of the Year at the 2021 CMA Awards, along with 3 #1 hits, Best Shot, Make Me Want To, and Freedom Was a Highway with Brad Paisley, as well as dropping 3 albums, Mercury Lane, Betty James Gold Edition, and his newest album, Tulip Drive. Another newer artist in country who auditioned for American Idol but was cut very early on was Guyton. Guyton reportedly auditioned for the show in season 8 but was cut just before the live show rounds. Guyton has since went on to earn 4 Grammy nominations throughout her country music career. Now, a name that is very well known throughout country music is Hillary Scott, the lead singer for one of country music's biggest trios, Lady A. Hillary Scott auditioned for American Idol early on. However, she never made it to the judges round, and not to mention, she auditioned for the show twice, and both times it was the same outcome for Scott. But it clearly had no effect, as Lady A has produced numerous #1 singles and albums, along with several of the albums and the singles certifying as platinum and gold. Again, one of the biggest trios in country music right now. The next artist that we have is one who tried out for both American Idol and The Voice, Maren Morris. Morris auditioned for both shows and did not advance to the televised auditions for either of them. Maren also auditioned for many other singing competitions early on in her career, but like American Idol and The Voice, she did not have much luck. Maren Morris not only has found much success in country music, but she has also branched out into other genres, where she has secured many awards throughout her career, many hit songs, as well as a large fan base. We're talking over 14 million listeners a month on Spotify alone. And now onto our final artist, a man like Luke Combs that has captivated audiences and is stealing the show in country music, Morgan Wallen. For those who don't know, yes, that's right, Morgan Wallen was cut from The Voice. Morgan Wallen competed on the show on its 6th season in 2014, but after making the top 20, he was eliminated. Morgan Wallen spoke to Drury Outdoors in an interview not too long ago where he detailed why it didn't work out. Morgan said, "My mom actually signed me up for The Voice, the TV show. I went on there. I didn't even know what it was because I never even heard of it. And I was like, yeah, I guess I'll go, if you drive me to St. Louis. I'm actually willing to try it out. And I made it on there. Made like the top 20. I wanted to sing country music, but they wanted me to sing pop music. So I was just like, guess these people are really smart people. I guess I'll try it out. And I sang some pop songs, and they finally let me pick a song. And I picked a country song, and they kicked me off. It was the best thing to ever happen though, but I just met some people through that and ended up moving to Nashville in 2015. It's been good to me." And to just sit here and list each accolade, record, milestone that Morgan has achieved is just a whole day in itself, but you guys get the point. Morgan Wallen was eliminated and has made a very clear statement on what The Voice missed out on by crowning him a winner of the competition and having his name jotted down in the show's books as a winner. Pretty wild to look back at all the talent that has emerged from these shows, even if the artists that were mentioned were not winners, and hell, most of them didn't make it far at all, not even to the second tier of the preliminary rounds of these things. There are other artists who we did not mention that did not necessarily bring home the win from American Idol or The Voice, but their landing spots within the competition were astronomically higher than these standout artists that we have mentioned today. For instance, Lauren Elena, who fell to second behind winner Scotty McCreery, or the country duo the Swan Brothers, who finished third on The Voice, and of course the new country riser right now who is just absolutely phenomenal and will be blowing the doors off of the genre here very soon, is a man by the name of Jake Worthington. Or how about previous winners that we didn't mention, like Sundance Head and Craig Wayne Boyd, who really deserves more recognition in my opinion. That guy is an outstanding artist. But again, for what it's worth, competition shows do have their place, but ultimately winning these things do not guarantee that the singer will be projected straight into superstardom. So when tuning in, guys, remember to not overlook the ones who are eliminated in any round. You never know what can happen. We would love to know your thoughts on this. Any singer that you have seen on American Idol, The Voice, Got Talent, Star Search, anything you could think of, we would love to know who comes to mind that maybe you wish you would have seen take home the win. Guys, thank you for tuning in to CountryCast. That will be all for today's video.